welcome to Gentex Multimedia, streaming live to your device all the way from Brisbane, Australia. Well, it's first day of December and, well, it's hard to believe we are in the end of this year. Well, many people would say good riddance, get rid of this year as soon as we can. Some people have been saying that they will keep a week on 31st of December, not to welcome the new year, but to make sure that this one does actually go away. Well, right now, let's begin with today's show. Well, of course, today I will begin with some of the things that have been happening locally. As we know, the launch of the movie is happening, the movie The Fennis. And of course, a locally made movie, very well made movie. And of course, many times people, always relate to the first Australians and how, the migrants came to Australia in the very, very beginning. And of course, they never realized that, all parts of the multicultural community were there from the word go. So, be it Afghanis, Sikh community, Hindus, Chinese, and everyone. And their struggles in those early days, what were their struggles? How did they, contribute to the nation building of this land? Which we enjoy today. Many people today complain about many little things, but if you look at the hardship faced by those people at those time, it is amazing. So the movie, Kaushik Das and everyone. So last night was a pre-release screening for selected people and for media, and I'd say that it was just amazing to be there. So let's take a quick look at some of the glimpses. Not from the movie, but from the opening night. Well, not the opening night, it was the pre-release screening. Exclusive coverage by Australian Indian Radio, and that is Kaushik Das there himself, talking to the Vendor Bands and Gurjit Bands. Of course, it was held at the New Farm Cinemas. You remember where we brought Abhishek Bachchan-ji in the same cinema.
Let's take a photo.
Yes.
You are coming now.
So as I mentioned before, that it was a wonderful, wonderful movie. Well, you can see in that, how people, it's mainly all around the gold rush, the prospecting that used to happen in those times, and the cameleers and how the land was navigated at those times, especially in the desert area. The name of the movie is The Fennis. I don't want to give too much away, but you really, really have to see this movie. Everyone has to see this movie, The Fennis, which will be releasing in a few weeks' time. So it is a wonderful movie. Just stay update with our channel, and we will let you know all the release dates in the theaters and the cinemas where it will be screened. But last night's everyone applauded towards the end. It is just so very well made. Of course, Dream Time and the storytelling that's incorporated in that movie is just amazing. And it will be wonderful for everyone to go and watch and look at our, heritage of the country, how this country was formed in the earlier days and what was the trials and tribulations of the first nations people, and of course the skills of the land that they had, plus the camels when they were introduced, and how all different communities came in with their own skill set and they contributed to the nation building in those very, very hard times. And as we know, the Australian terrain could be very, very harsh. You could be sitting inside homes and, enjoying the beach. But if you have to be on the land in those hard conditions, you will know the trials and tribulations these people have gone through. A lot of new migrants who come in these days enjoy all the privileges and all the things that this land's got to offer. Is quite different to what was, in those days and time. So, with that, I'd like to go straight into the interview for today, because today is 1st of December, and 1st of December also marks the Pool Safety Month. With that, I'd like to welcome Lawrence
we will
to the
save more
show.
lives this summer.
Sorry? Come to the beginning, yes. You there, Laurie? Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Australian Indian Radio, and it's that time of the year once again where, holidays are coming and people will be going and heading out to the pools, and especially with the temperature levels that we have right at this point in time. So backyard pools have been a major risk as pool owners forsake fence safety. Last year, 12 children under 12 drowned, and 1 in 2, about 50%, took place in the backyard pools. A third, which is about 34% of the pool owners, have never checked for pool safety of the gate and fence. And ahead of pool Check Your Pool Gate Month, D&D Technologies is launching a Sense of Summer guide to help families understand how to safeguard and their backyards and the pools. And of course, in this time, we are very, very fortunate to have with us by line on the radio today is Laurie Lawrence, who is the swim ambassador, and you might remember him from last year. So he is a top athlete in his own right, is a former Australian rugby union rep, and an Olympic and world champion swim coach. Laurie cares deeply about people he influences, and he refuses to rest until he has achieved his best. And what a way to be. Laurie has been claimed as one of Australia's favourite sons and is admired by many Australians, from little children who attend his coaching clinics to international corporate people as well. Swim coaching has played an important part in Laurie's life. Laurie Lawrence has represented Australia in World Championship as well. So, Laurie, once again, welcome to the show.
Oh, it's my pleasure, mate. Thank you for helping us. Only by getting people like yourself involved can we keep drownings to a minimum and reduce preschool drownings. Thank you so much. Love it.
No, thank you very much. Well, right now, let's get into this. With me in the studio, as I've mentioned before, is Check Your Pool Gate Month Ambassador Laurie Lawrence. And so, Laurie, could you tell us a little bit about the research findings?
Well, last year, 50% of all drownings occurred in backyard pools for kids under 5. Now, that's a terrible statistic. We've made some really great improvements since we first started in the year 2000, when 63 children under the age of 5 drowned. Last year, 12. So we've come from 63 to 12, but 12 is a busload of kids. And it's only when I get stations, radio stations like yourself, that keep pushing the water safety message, the Kids Alive water safety message, and in fact become involved in Check Your Pool Gate Month, because it's the first month of summer. I know lots of people say summer is cricket, but no, for me, summer is swimming and water safety.
And of course, swimming and water safety, it is not cricket, and many times people do all love their swimming pools, but why do so many pool owners fail to check the safety of their pool gate or the fence?
Well, I think it's just ignorance on people's part. They don't realise that the gate is the weakest link. And unless you have the correct hinges and the correct latches, like a Magna latch, a magnetic latch, or polymer hinges, true close hinges that are rust-free, that automatically close. They automatically close, and then they're clamped shut by the old Magna latch, then your child is at its safest. As a matter of fact, the latest latch that's been invented here in Australia and manufactured here in Australia is the Magna Latch Alert, and that, when the gate's opened, it beeps. You wait 5 seconds, it beeps again, and then it beeps again. And if it's open for more than 20 seconds, it starts screaming at you. It sends out a siren, which tells you, hey, the gate's open. Is there a little child in there? Is someone drowning? You better go and check your pool gate. So they've got magnificent technology that they've worked. They've spent a lot on R&D. And so now they're doing a Check Your Pool Gate month. And online at checkyourpoolgate.com.au, there's the sense of summer. What do we do in summer? How do we check our pool gate? What's legal? What's not legal? Because so many people do not understand what a legal backyard pool fence and gate are. That's all there for you. Plus there's other play games and things that the kids can get involved in on yourpoolgate.com.au, the website.
Well, that is exactly right, Laurie, because many times people say, all right, we need to have a pool fence and a gate, and they whack one in and it's there, and many times, as you mentioned, hinges or other things could be coming apart, but no one takes care. No, it doesn't matter, the full fence there. But, it's good to see that, in this advanced day and age with all the technology, that the technology is being put to good use now, as you just mentioned about this gate. So that is an amazing thing that's happening there. Well, what advice do you have for our pool owners this summer?
Look, you don't want a tragedy in your backyard pool. That's number one. So take the time to go online to checkyourpoolgate.com.au and find out what's legal, what's not legal, what you can do to improve. If you haven't got good hinges and latches, get down to Bunnings, because you get a $20 gift card if you go and buy new D&D technology stuff down there. You get a $20 gift card. So I know there's people out there that love to get to Bunnings. So get down and get your pool hardware, pool gate hardware there. Very important. And if you haven't got your resuscitation, your life-saving resuscitation certificate, make a point of doing that as well. So you'll adhere to the Kids Alive Do the Five message of fence the pool, shut the gate, teach your kids to swim. That's me. It's great. Supervise, watch your mate, and learn how to resuscitate. Kids Alive Do the Five.
Do the five, yes, I remember that from last year. Yes, well done there, Laurie. Well, you look at all the things that you have mentioned. Sometimes people say, oh yeah, they're just little things, but how important is each and every step that you have mentioned there. You can't be complacent. You have to look at all the things and make sure that the pool safety is of your prime importance. So,
Correct.
Yep. So what is the Sense of Summer Guide?
The Sense of Summer Guide is lots of fun things online at checkyourpoolgate.com.au. It tells you all the things, how to fix your pool fence, all the dangers that exist, but there are fun games and things there as well for the kids. So it's something that we've put together especially for the summer, because everyone nowadays is walking around. You walk down the street and people are on their phone or looking at their phone or getting information on their phone. So we've put all this special information up there with games, lots of things to do. And a big thank you to D&D Technologies, who are leading the world in pool fencing, pool gate hardware, with all their R&D that's going on, their research and development. So that's all online for you. Go there and let's save some kids' lives this summer. This morning I've gone a little way to saving kids' lives. And the two I've got my daughter's had twins, grand twins. They're 17 months of age now, and they are terrors. And I've just got out of the pool to do this phone call interview with you. And they've been swimming underwater, turning around underwater, doing all the skills that are going to help save their lives and have fun this summer. We want no tragedies. Let's do the 5 this summer. But December is especially check your pool gate month.
Of
Check
course
your
it is,
hardware.
Laurie. Thank you so much for that. And I hope you have a wonderful time with the twin grandkids there. And of course, they would be super swimmers, under your guidance. So, it is wonderful. Now, if people need some more information, where can they access that guide?
They go online to www.checkyourpoolgate.com.au. It's all there, and you'll get some information. You won't get any cricket information, but you'll get water safety information for the kids. And you won't see Steve Smith's next 100 there, but you'll get water safety for the kids.
You, of course, you will, yes, sir. And, forget about the cricket, because this is really, really serious stuff. It is very important. This is a matter of life and death. And
Correct.
if we can save any children, any kids, so much the better.
Thank you so much. That is, we place a lot of emphasis on sport, and particularly now with the tour from India, with all the great cricketers in the world that come from India, are over here now. We place so much, but after all, it's only a game. But the other thing is kids' lives. We're out to save lives, because one day they may be a great swimmer, a politician, a great politician, or even a great cricketer. So
Laurie,
let's check our pool gate this month.
Yes, we should. Laurie, one of the things that you've mentioned, that we've got our cricket team here, and one of the things that we have found within our community over the years is the lack of swimming skills. And many times, even when they come here on tourist visa, they see everyone on the beach, and because in India they don't, cycling is something which comes naturally, but
Yes.
talk about swimming, it's not. So that's why you'll find that even now, a lot of the migrants here from the Indian continent are making an effort to take their kids to the swimming pools and giving them lessons. And we have dealt with that many times. There have been so many tragedies, especially on beach. But today we're talking about pools on the
Correct.
beaches, because they come in and they've always seen that we're going to Australia, we go to the beach, we have to run in. They're not unaware of the bar, the tide, swimming between the flags and other things. So
Yes.
with the lack of safety, and we have lost many people.
We have, and that's been an absolute tragedy. And you're so right. We need all Australian Indian communities, all Australians, to get your children down to the local pool, get them taught to swim, have them enjoy our great, great beaches, have them enjoy our swimming pools, make them healthier, make them safer, and then they can play any sport that they want.
Thank you very much. Thank you for being on the show, Laurie.
Oh, it's my pleasure, mate. By speaking to you and other radio stations, we will save more lives this summer.
Yes, we will. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
So, ladies and gentlemen, so there you are, ladies and gentlemen, update on the pool safety, the month that has the safety message, and that month has just begun from today, the pool safety month. And Laurie Lawrence is an ambassador, and he does an amazing job out there. Despite being so busy with all the other things, he's taken time out to be here with us and chat with us and share that. Well, I think the news that everyone's trying to wait for and is following is the Dharna in Delhi. And I'd like to bring some report from NDTV. Remember, these are the reports, and we rebroadcast them as they have been put to air. This has got nothing to do directly with our reporting. We're just sharing the news that they have shared. Just trying to see if I can get the sound. My apologies for that. Your technology is great when it works, but sometimes it does fail. But my apologies. So that was the latest about the meeting with Amit Shah last night. And I'll try and then see if I can bring that to you later on.
GlobeNet Realty. GlobeNet Realty has been the longest established, trusted and respected agency in its trade area. Washa Chandra, Director of GlobeNet Realty, provides honest and ethical service to her customers. If you are thinking of investing in Brisbane real estate market, or if you are seeking professional property management, then you should contact Usha Chandra today on landline 3865 4466 or mobile 0419 775 416. And for further updates, log on to our website www.globenetralty.com.au. GlobeNet Realty is your own local real estate agency. Situated at Shop 52281 Sandgate Road, Boondall. GlobeNet Realty. Real estate is our world.
And real estate is the world. Well, right now, looking at some of the local news, our Prime Minister demands an apology from China for that false news which was put on Twitter.
A mocked-up image of an Australian soldier.
It is a false image and a terrible slur.
The fake picture, part of an offensive and inflammatory tweet from the top echelon of the Chinese government. The soldier holding a bloodied knife to the throat of an Afghan child, nursing a lamb. Don't be afraid, the soldier says. We are coming to bring you peace.
It is utterly outrageous and it cannot be justified on any basis whatsoever.
China making its view known on the shame exposed by the explosive Brereton report. 39 Afghans allegedly murdered by Australian Special Forces.
The Chinese government should be totally ashamed of this post. It diminishes them in the world's eyes.
Australia's condemnation of this image is above politics, and we all stand as a nation in condemning it.
Yeah. The tweet's author, Zhao Lijian, is no junior Beijing player. He's the second-ranked official in the Foreign Ministry who speaks with the authority of his nation. The ministry doubling down late today.
Does that mean that they think the cold-blood murder of Afghan innocent civilians is justified?
China, not the only rival to the existing global order, making mischief. Russia, who Australia called out after the 2014 downing of flight MH17, also keen to even the score.
This is a truly shocking report.
One wonders if North Korea will pile in as well. I mean, the hypocrisy is just breathtaking.
But it's the response of China, the rising authoritarian power, that bothers the Morrison government. Christmas shoppers, possible recruits in the worsening trade spat with Beijing.
That, I'm sure, will reverberate in their minds as they make those purchasing decisions.
Thanks to Donald Trump, the world's grown used to Twitter diplomacy. Beijing's been watching and learning, and now Australia is up against a dominant trading partner prepared to bully and abuse. In various disputes, Australia's claimed the moral authority of operating within the rules. China now says that claim's undercut by Australia's Afghan disgrace. Scott Morrison's talk of a relationship reset looks like wishful thinking. Andrew Probyn, ABC News, Canberra.
7:30's chief political correspondent Laura Tingle is with me from Parliament House. Laura, how would you describe the language from the Prime Minister today?
Well, it was very, very strongly. As you say, he talked about it being repugnant. He said it was utterly outrageous and cannot be justified on any basis whatsoever, and that the Chinese government should be totally ashamed of this post, which diminishes them in the world's eyes. So there was no holding back from Scott Morrison in his language, and I think the Foreign Minister actually went even further, saying it was appalling, outrageous and a disgusting piece of social media, and the most egregious example of disinformation she had seen in her time in Parliament. So this is a huge escalation of tensions by both sides of the relationship, if we still actually have one.
Well, diplomatic relationships do sometimes go through ups and downs, but how bad is this down?
I think this is a very bad down. Now, in the past, we've had trade disputes. The Chinese have got angry about some of our language about things, but the problem for Australia here, of course, is that not only is the Chinese government threatening us on trade issues, we are now threatening them back at the WTO over what they've done to us. But more importantly, there's now this shift in the moral ground because of the Brereton Inquiry's findings last week. We've always attacked the government of China on human rights issues. Suddenly they've got an opportunity to do that as well and turn it back on us. It's going to be a very difficult thing to come back from. And of course, one of the interesting things is that the Prime Minister has basically made a series of demands that we know can't be or won't be met. There's no likelihood whatsoever that the Chinese are going to apologise as he's requested. In fact, they've basically defended their statements this evening, saying that they are based on the Australian government's own findings. And so at that point it becomes a question of to what extent Scott Morrison is playing to the domestic audience here by making sure that it's clear that he's playing a tough game on China, even though he's not going to be able to get an outcome.
Tangentially, Laura, it also shows some more of the ripple effects of that Brereton inquiry into the SAS and the alleged war crimes.
It does. There's an expectation that the Chief of the Defence Force will put out a statement today basically backing away from his position that the unit meritorious citation would be removed from the unit that was involved in, is alleged to have been involved in these war crimes. It's created an enormous backlash within the veterans community, and it just shows all the sorts of terrible ripples beyond the actual crimes themselves that flow out from this terrible series of incidents.
Laura Tingle, thank you.
Thanks, Lee.
And right now, let's see if I can connect back with Delhi. And as we know, the growing tensions there as well. And let's see if we can get this news happening.
Culture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar met last night at BJP Chief JP Nadda's Delhi house, according to sources, hours after the farmers protesting in and around the national capital rejected the centre's proposal of holding early talks to discuss their grievances. Now, the government held discussions on the protest by thousands of farmers that began last week, and the meeting reportedly went on for 2 hours. Amid massive protests against the 3 contentious agricultural laws, Amit Shah on Saturday had said the government was ready to deliberate on every problem and demand. However, had said the protest would have to be shifted to a designated venue. That offer was rejected. Earlier we spoke to Neeta for more details.
This meeting was held at Mr. Nadda's residence, Gargi. It was a 2-hour-long meeting. Amit Shah, who was touring Hyderabad for the elections, municipal elections, he came back, and after this, the meeting was convened. Obviously, the government, tried to deal with the strategy as to how to go about with this issue, because it is is getting out of hand. Because now farmers from as far as Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Rajasthan, Punjab and Madhya Pradesh also are reaching Delhi to give support to the farmers who are already there. They say if these laws go ahead, then they would be left at the mercy of the corporates. However, the government is trying to work out. They are saying, they are insisting that these laws would benefit farmers, but they are still ready to talk. They have been trying to reach out to farmers, but the farmers' leaders have rejected whatever the Union Home Minister had said. Even, some in the government have been saying that the protests are politically motivated. So they are trying to work a way around it. So in this meeting, everything was dealt with, everything was discussed as to how to, try to get these farmers, protesting farmers on the talking table. Meanwhile, the issue between Punjab and Haryana was also discussed, as the chief ministers have been squabbling now openly through public platforms also. So how to, get them also to the talking table was discussed in this 2-hour-long meeting.
Right, this as farmers' protest has entered the 5th day today. The farmers, after meeting on Sunday, had said the government should have approached with an open heart and not put preconditions to their offer. The government's offer was rejected over fears that the protest spots the centre suggested that they shift to can become jails, and now reports of more farmers joining in the protest from other states like UP, Uttarakhand, Madhya Pradesh as well. And if their demands aren't met, they may even lay siege on the national capital and block routes to Delhi. NDTV's Arun sent us this report from the Delhi-Haryana border.
20th November at Singhu border, this is the 4th day of sit-in protest by the farmers from different states. Now, it was 26th November when Delhi Chalo March was initiated, and after multiple struggles and crossing several borders, farmers have managed to come here and now have occupied this very crucial and important and central border, Singhu border, which divides Haryana and Delhi, and ways two different Delhi districts also go from here. As you can see, the entire area has been surrounded by trolleys and trucks. These trolleys and trucks that farmers used in their farms now are here out on roads along with provisions of their sustenance here. आप बताइए, आप कहाँ से आ रहे हैं? कहाँ से आ रहे हैं और कहाँ जा रहे हैं?
हम करनाल जा रहे हैं।
करनाल जा रहे हैं, लेकिन कैसे जाएंगे? अभी वाहन तो है नहीं।
वो भाई खड़ा है।
अच्छा, पर अभी चल के जा रहे हैं। So of course, it is a struggle for those who are on their foot and who have to go to other borders, so they don't have any vehicle here, so they are on their foot. And then you have this group of farmers here with me. आप कहाँ से हैं?
यमुनानगर, हरियाणा।
हरियाणा से है। तो एक बड़ा मुद्दा ये भी बड़ा है, जब से जो चीफ मिनिस्टर हरियाणा के, उन्होंने कहा कि हरियाणा के किसान तो यहाँ है ही नहीं।
हरियाणा के किसान तो हजारों की संख्या में है यहाँ पर। कौन कहता है हरियाणा की सरकार नहीं है लोग यहाँ?
यमुनानगर से आप भी?
हाँ जी, डिस्ट्रिक्ट कुरुक्षेत्र जी।
अच्छा,
हाँ जी।
तो आपके साथ तो बहुत सारे हरियाणा के जो किसान हैं वो जुड़े होंगे, तो आप बताइए कि क्या ऐसा है कि तादाद कम है या फिर वो आना नहीं चाहते थे और आए नहीं है हरियाणा के?
ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, तादाद बहुत है। आप घूम के देखो, हरियाणा के बहुत भारी संख्या में है हरियाणा के लोग। और ये तो उनका थोड़ा डिवाइड एंड रूल वाली थोड़ी इनकी पॉलिसीज है, अदरवाइज ऐसा कुछ नहीं है।
हरियाणा ने ये भी कहा कि कुछ शरारती तत्व भी है यहाँ पर, कुछ ऐसा आपने?
कोई शरारती तत्व नहीं है जी, बिल्कुल शांतिपूर्ण तरीके से आप देखोगे कि लोग कैसे यहाँ से एक दूसरे की बैठे बैठे सब जलपान का प्रबंध कर रहे। और हरियाणा के कुछ ऐसे लोग भी हमारे जो रोहतक से कहीं एंट्री हो रही, वहां पर उन्होंने जाम लगा रखा है। जो यूपी से लोग है उन्हें वो दूसरा बॉर्डर जाम किया है। और जो आसपास के हमारे लोग हैं, इनकी ट्रालियां तब दिख रही है यहाँ पर जो पंजाब के, क्योंकि ये दूर से आके अपनी ट्रालियों में आ रहे। हम दूसरे गाड़ियों से भी आ रहे और दूसरे व्हीकल से आ रहे। अगर आप पीछे जाके देखेंगे तो बहुत हरियाणा के लोग हैं। और इस बात से जो खट्टर साहब ने ये बात की, भी हरियाणा को हम धन्यवाद करते हैं, हमारे किसान यहाँ पर नहीं आ रहे, हम उसका पुरजोर रूप से खंडन करते हैं कि भी हम बिल्कुल पुरजोर रूप से हमारे जो पंजाब के जो साथी हैं उनका हम यहाँ समर्थन कर रहे हैं और इसके पुरजोर से खिलाफत करते हैं। और कोई ये कहते हैं कि भी ये कांग्रेस का प्रायोजित है। देखो, कांग्रेस ने भी आज तक कुछ किया। एक विडंबना ये है कि हमारे यहाँ से जो भी जनता का मुद्दा होता है, आज का किसानी का है, कोई करना वाले हमारे साथ है। कल ये भी पक्ष मत ही हमारे साथ थे। ये कपड़े निकाल के स्वामीनाथन रिपोर्ट लागू करो, ये करो वो करो, ये किसानों के साथ थे। अगर कल ये भी पक्ष में आ जाएंगे तो ये हमारे साथ आ जाएंगे। मतलब ये शुरू का ऐसे ही चल रहा है जनता के साथ। मतलब वहां क्या खड़े क्या दिखावाएंगे कि आपके साथ है। जहां सत्ता में गए पता नहीं इनके अंदर क्या आ जाए, एकदम से पलटी मार जाते हैं। क्या इनको वहां हो जाता है, फिर सारे मुद्दे भूल जाते हैं।
So this group is from Haryana. I've spoken to a gentleman from Uttarakhand, and then you can see a lot of farmers from Punjab. So there are farmers from a lot of states, and as this gentleman said, that it's the power that goes against them, and that is why they are here to protest the tree farm ordinance the centre has passed. With camera person Azam, Arun Singh for NDTV.
And the first for a member of the Royal Australian Navy, we pause to honour the service and ultimate sacrifice of Ordinary Seaman Edward Teddy Sheehan, VC. Shortly, I'll invite you to stand for the arrival of the Governor-General and Mrs Hurley. Please remain standing, and after the Guard has departed, join with Her Excellencies in singing the Australian National Anthem. I will then read the citation and invite Teddy Sheen's nephew, Mr Gary Ivory, to receive the insignia from the Governor-General on behalf of the Sheen family. After the presentation, I'll invite the Governor-General to deliver his address, followed by speeches from the Prime Minister, the Leader of the Opposition, Minister for Defence and Chief of Defence Force. Mr Ivory and members of the Sheen family will then join Their Excellencies, the Minister for Defence, the Chief of Defence Force and the Chief of Navy for formal photographs, while other guests are invited to proceed to the Lakeside Terrace for refreshments and lunch in honour of Teddy Sheen. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please stand for the arrival of Her Excellencies the Governor-General of the Commonwealth of Australia and Mrs Hurley, and then remain standing for the singing of the Australian National Anthem after the Guard has departed.
Australia's Federation Guard, Royal Salute, stand! Guard, shoulder, guard, upwards, turn. Guard by the left, wing.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are young and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil, our home is built by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty rich and rare. In history's page, let every sage advance Australia fair. In diverse strains, then let us sing, advance Australia fair. Beneath our radiant Southern Cross, we'll toil with hearts in hands to make this Commonwealth of ours renowned of all the lands. For those who've come across the seas, we've boundless plains to share. With courage, let us all combine to advance Australia fair. In joyful strains, then let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Thank you. Please be seated. Your Excellency, to be awarded the Victoria Cross for Australia, Ordinary Seaman Edward Teddy Sheen, for the most conspicuous gallantry and a pre-eminent act of valour in the presence of the enemy during a Japanese aerial attack on HMAS Armidale in the Timor Sea on the 1st of December 1942. On this day, 78 years ago, during operations in the Timor Sea, HMAS Armidale came under aerial bombardment and torpedo attack from Japanese aircraft. Shortly after the commencement of the attack, Armidale was hit by a torpedo and began lifting to port. 1 minute later, the ship was hit by a second torpedo, which broke the vessel's back, causing the captain to order abandon ship. Ordinary Seaman Sheehan, one of the youngest and most junior-ranked members of Armidale Ship's Company, made his way to the stowage position of the motorboat and assisted in its launch. As the enemy continued to fire upon the ship and his shipmates who were already in the water, Ordinary Seaman Sheehan decided to forego his opportunity for survival by not abandoning ship and instead returning to his action station to man the aft Oerlikon gun, where he was the loader, not the gunner. Despite being wounded, he strapped himself into the gun and commenced firing at the enemy, damaging at least 2 enemy aircraft. Ordinary Seaman Sheehan's actions disrupted and distracted the enemy from strafing and killing his defenceless shipmates in the water. He sacrificed his life trying to save his shipmates, and despite his wounds, he continued firing the gun until the ship sank and took him to his death. His preeminent act of valour and most conspicuous gallantry saved Australian lives. His heroism became the standard to which the men and women of the Australian Defence Force aspire. Ordinary Seaman Edward Teddy Sheehan awarded the Victoria Cross for Australia. Accepting the...
And what a wonderful award. It's been a long time coming, but the day has finally come, and it is just so wonderful that that's happening right now. What a proud moment, a long time coming, but it's finally happening.
I now invite the Governor-General to make his address.
Well, good morning all and welcome to what is an exceptional and special occasion in both the life of Government House here, life of the Royal Australian Navy, the Australian Defence Force, and of course for the family and friends of Teddy Sheehan. A great privilege to be able to participate in this ceremony today. I'll begin by acknowledging that Government House at Yarralumla sits on the land of the traditional owners of the Ngunnawal people. I do thank them for their care for this beautiful part of our country for generation after generation and pay respects to elders past and present. Could I acknowledge all our distinguished guests that we have with us today for this occasion, and thank you for honouring Teddy Sheehan with your presence. Today, of course, is a momentous and a historic day for the Sheehan family, many of whom are here with us at Yarralumla, and for other members watching online, for the community of Tasmania, for the Royal Australian Navy and indeed the entire ADF, and for Australia. It's a day to remember Ordinary Seaman Edward Teddy Sheehan, to acknowledge the gallantry, courage and selflessness he showed 78 years ago today, and to reflect on his legacy.
So 78 years ago today, and it's being bestowed upon him via his family and relatives. So it is just wonderful that, you know, it's taken a while, but finally that day has come when he's been awarded. So ladies and gentlemen, with that I need to say goodbye for today. It's been wonderful having your company. As we know, there have been so many wonderful news and things that we needed to share with you, and we will bring to you all the updates, but don't forget that today's segment has been proudly sponsored by Gaura Travels, and of course we know that they have very special flights going to India at this point in time, and you know, if you wish to take advantage of that, you need to act in a very timely manner so that you know, you can avail yourself to the flights, the Black Friday sale, which continues on till 21st December is that flight that's happening, and the sail is on for 5 days. But you can contact Garo Travels to get all the updates and what other flights from which other city is going. So, we'd like to thank our sponsors for today's segment, which is Garo Travels, and would like to really appreciate their efforts in bringing this together for everybody here. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that, I need to say goodbye from this segment. Until tomorrow, it will be goodbye from me. And I just hope to see and catch up with all of you tomorrow once again. And we have, every day there will be some interviews and some general topics that we will bring to you, which is of importance to everyone. Hi, it's been wonderful having your company, and I'd like to also thank all the admins of many groups who share our posts on. As we know, we're still battling with a little bit of issue with Facebook, and as we know, it is not self-inflicted, but it is been someone's doing. But nevertheless, it's okay. We must be doing something right. But we are getting there slowly. And to whom it might concern, you know who you are. Well, right now, let's move on, and I'll wish you all the best for today. And until tomorrow, it's goodbye from me. Remain safe.